Hello and welcome. Welcome to REBBL Season 12, REL 4D, Week 1
4D.
recap. And yeah, I'll need some fact checkers to make sure I'm in the right division this week. But with me, I'm Spaceline, and with me today is Sir Kodiak.
Hey,
Yeah, how's everyone doing? So Kodiak, how was your week 1 intro to Tier 2?
pretty good. I mean, I tied, which you always want to win your matches, but it
Yes.
was against a very nicely developed Necro team, and it's like I feel kind of lucky getting away with a tie. The second half, which was my opponent's drive, they were
Mm.
just doing an absurd amount of damage to me, and I ended the game with like 3 pieces on the field. Well, no, I did their drive with like 3 pieces on the field. I then had like 6, 7 once for the one turn at the very end.
Yeah.
But so many removals, and I was basically lucky that he decided to like stall and go for the tie rather than score and maybe like turn me over. So
Yeah.
and I didn't take any permanent damage, so I can't complain.
Yeah, a point is still a point, right? But
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, I watched the second half of this game, and it was, yeah, pretty dismal. I feel like each turn there was less and less of your team, and
mm-hmm.
yeah, it was kind of, waiting to see if what decision they'd make, whether they were gonna push forward to try to score quicker and try to turn the ball over.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, ended up they went for the tie. So yeah, well that's good. Ease your way into it, right? Um,
Yeah, yeah. Next week should be fun. I'm playing a Robbie this coming week, who's just like an infamous kill team.
yes, yeah. Well, a
And I
lot.
don't actually know that it's like better than my team. It's just he's going to pile on every turn. He's going to foul every turn,
Yeah,
and so the risk of like
yeah,
damage is really high.
yeah. Arabi's priorities are different, obviously. Uh, it's well known and documented, but there's something different about facing somebody that's going to prioritize piling on versus securing the ball, or even worrying about counter fouls. They
Yeah.
don't. And yeah, a lot of teams or a number of coaches in this division are pretty familiar with Arabi. Um, I know Tim Nielsen and Flyboys coach Kleptonite. Um, they were all in the Arabi division with me. That was kind of when Arabi was starting to become the legend that he is now.
So they'll be praying for me.
Yeah, yeah, more or less. Um, cool. All right. Well, let's get into it. Let's talk about the matches of the week, and we had 6 out of 7 get played, which is pretty good. And this one was exciting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sterling Hornets versus Cross of the Empire is our Pro Elf mirror.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and oh man, I think we both got to watch this one, right?
Yeah.
I don't remember if I think I saw the. I think I just watched
I
the
don't think this was
replay.
streamed. I just watched a replay of it in the client afterwards.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. What? Anything jump out at you? And I have a few notes from like how this went down, but
So yeah, in terms of like the story of the match, I mean, I have some notes. I would say the thing that jumps out to me is like we look at the TV of these two teams, and it's within 10 of each other,
mm,
and I think some of this result was the real difference that like skill compared to stats. That we look at like I'm not gonna try to say the name, but like that on the right hand side, the AG5 strength 4 catcher.
yeah,
Uh, Great piece someday. It's unfortunate it took an armor bust, but still like a piece has a lot of potential, but has like no skill for actually using AG5 or strength 4.
mm-hmm,
Whereas you can look across and it's like we see block, we see guard, we see more dodge, we see tackle,
yeah,
uh, and I think that was a lot of what was going on. Though there was also some other things going on that I think we'll talk about.
yeah, yeah. No, I think that's right. Yeah, I hadn't noticed that They are so close in TV differential, and I think when we looked at both these teams in the pre-cap, that we looked at them in kind of a silo, and
Mhm.
Cross of the Empire looked pretty exciting, right? Like
Yeah.
having that Agi 4 strength 5 or sorry, Agi 5 strength 4 piece uh looked great. You got another blitzer that also is Agi 5, can just hop right in, mix things up. Leap blitzer, which I think we both thought was a little interesting, but still
Mhm.
like add some dimension to them. And yeah, I think you know, looking at this match on paper, Sterling Hornets is solid, but like doesn't have that big, game breaker piece.
Yeah. Getting better with that strength up on that catcher, but yeah.
Yes, right. Now, yes, looking a lot better. Um, Certainly with that, and getting tackle on their other catcher. Um, One thing I was gonna say, like that maybe we should do since this is our first recap, is take a step back and just talk a little about these sheets, because we're gonna go through
Sure.
a series of these. These are gonna show kind of all the need to know stats on one page, rather than us having to flip back and forth, go through the client. And Sir Kodiak put all these together. This is part of what he did for recaps last season, and bringing it to this division this year. And yeah, so we'll have a set of these for each game that's played, and then a set as we go through the previews for each match. And they're supposed to kind of represent each team there. But yeah, do you want to say a few things about some of the things you pulled out?
Yeah, I guess I would just to one thing is just terms of the visuals of what's being I'm trying to communicate here is, we list every player. You'll notice some of the skills are smaller. Those are the built-in skills. The larger skills are level ups. I try to mark all the damage that gets taken. The icons that are like damage icons that are like bigger, like say next to the strength 5 AG4 guy on the right. That means he took that match. If it's smaller and has a box around it, that means that's just like an injury that's being carried forwards. The wild card that you asked about prior to the recording, that's the MVP on each team. And then the stats in the middle are just a selection of things from the in-game stats. I don't do all of them because I think there's more than we need, but it's the ones that I pulled out as potentially interesting.
Yeah.
And we'll list stadiums, we'll list what inducements people take, those things.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I really like, again, just having it all distilled onto one page. We can clearly see like what each team was bringing to the match, and that kind of helps tell the story. If we didn't, get a chance to watch it, or even still.
Yeah, and this actually came out of obviously what they're seeing first is the preview. The review sheets. I got into this for the preview sheets, which we'll do second, because there it's like I found it so much easier to like know what a match might look like. But I could actually see the two teams next to each other. And then making this version is just really easy once I already have that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, true. Because I guess the match reports aren't that tough to go through in the client, but yeah, going back and forth to look at a match preview, you have to go between. If you really want to look at each team, you have to like pull up each team separately, and it's a lot of clicks. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, these teams, even down to their fan factor rerolls, these teams were pretty much identical. But boy, was this a very, very lopsided match.
Yeah. So yeah, in terms of like what actually went down, like it was just. I mean, I think the Sterling Hornets just took the advantage right from the beginning, and really never let up. They were on defense first. They got a perfect defense, and which I thought they used very nicely. That they used to not just like avoid hits, or make sure that the hits were coming in on safe from pieces that don't have block. And they also use it to like set some pieces up in places where they'd be able to apply pressure to the ball on the next turn. And all of that paid off, right? There was a 1 in the 9. There was a line of scrimmage block taken that 1 in 9 because it wasn't by a block piece. Rerolled 1 in 9 again. Actually, no, I'm sorry. Wasn't a 1 in 9 the second time. It was like a push or whatever. But what happened was that there was a pickup attempt on the ball that was a 1, and the reroll was gone. They let the
Right.
ball on the ground, and that means Sterling Hornets went after it, and they got their first defensive touchdown on their turn 2.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And even after that snaked pickup, I felt like Sterling Hornets had had a good bit of self control and was like, well done with positioning pieces like to try to get the ball next turn, but didn't like throw everybody in there. Still kind of kept I think they had like at least one safety that wasn't super deep, but like was there in case something broke loose. Because they play pro am, so they know kind of how that can work. But yeah. Once they got that score on turn 3 on their defense, um,
It was actually turn 2. It was that fast.
okay, turn 2 on their defense. Yeah, um, yeah. I think that kind of broke the floodgates loose a little bit across the Empire. Then um, they had to try to score, or at least they went about scoring pretty quickly to try to get things back into their control. And then I think, let's see.
They took 3 turns to score,
Mm,
which meant that there was actually Sterling Hornets had 4 turns to score after that.
that's right. Yeah.
Which is sort of wild to think that like it's a tie game going into turn for the defense,
Yeah.
and they had 4 turns. I'm sorry, it's turn 5 for them, which was that they had 4 turns to try to score, which they were very easily able to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
That meant we went to the second half 2-1 to the Sterling Hornets, their drive.
Yeah. And we also saw some fouling from the Hornets in the first half too.
Yeah, we did.
They were being smart, smartly caging off, and then like making part of those marks, part of that cage, some assists for some fouls on. I think they had gotten down the strength up, agi up
He took a
catcher.
number of fouls.
Yeah, yeah, which ended up towards the end resulting in that armor break.
Yeah.
And I think they had the catcher that, or they had a thrower that died in the first half that got appoed, brought back to life, and that's where the appo got burned. And then the second half is where so many injuries started happening.
Yeah, you can look at like the stats, and twice as many blocks succeeded for Sterling Hornets.
Yeah.
And we then have way more than twice as many armor breaks. Some of that was because of the fouling. That that's obviously a chance to break armor. Some of that was that there was just a lot of armor breaks where you just had like no kill skill, and just way more likely when the Sterling Hornets knocked over the Cross of the Empire pieces for them to have broken armor than the other way around.
Yeah, there was a little bit of that, and some. I meant to look at this after the game, but it did seem like quite a few failed GFIs for Cross of the Empire too, which it probably wasn't a big result, but it did seem like every other turn was ending in a failed GFI, or snake GFI in some cases, and so it seemed like there's.
Cross of the Empire made 54% of their go forth.
Okay.
And I don't believe there was like inclement weather affecting that. I don't recall there being
no.
snow.
Weather
it just
was fine.
did not go well for them.
No, yeah, that's not as good as expected.
Yeah, Sterling Hornets made 100%, but that was only one attempt.
Okay.
But yeah, a lot of go for it attempts and a lot of luck.
Yeah. I mean, obviously they got a great start, but I think I still feel like the Hornets played pretty soundly throughout with positioning and just making the most out of their opportunities. Again, the armor breaks, that's really rough for Cross of the Empire, how that all happened. And obviously that's going to snowball, right? Because then more chances for more blocks when you have less pieces to kind of defend against it.
Yeah, it's one of those matches where like I think that there was definitely some dice on Clown Thulu's side there, like helping him out with like those things like the armor breaks and some like failed pickups. At the same time, he was always well positioned to either force dice to be rolled or to take advantage of dice going bad. And that there's like skill to that. But I think a lot of coaches could have gotten that luck and not have capitalized it anywhere near 4-1.
Yeah. Agreed. Oh.
But great opening for them. I'm sure that was a very satisfying win.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, we're ready to move to the next one.
Yep.
All right, goblins.dce versus Go Work Orange. This one I think did get streamed.
I think
Oh,
we
I
streamed
streamed
this.
it.
Yeah,
That's
I
right.
think we may have like co-casted this.
Yeah, that's right.
And why I have like no notes on it because I
Yeah,
always forget to do that whenever we're like I'm streaming something.
yeah. I was like, where are my? Oh, right. Yes, yeah. We were both streaming this one. I think Troxbirds did attempt to stream it,
Mhm.
but had some stream difficulties,
Yes, that sounds familiar.
and so yeah, we picked it up, and yeah, this started out fairly exciting. I think if I remember right, the first half ended up being a bit of a stalemate,
Mhm.
and little oomph. So Go Work Orange opted to receive, I believe, or they were on offense first, and I'm guessing they opted to receive. Inducements were Merc Lyman and Bloodweiser Babe for Goblins.dce.
So it's an extra 10K.
Yep. Um, and yeah, Go Work Orange really they weren't finding the breaks that they at least at first, right? So or the breaks that they were getting weren't removals. I think as we see, there are a number of badly hurts on the left, but I think a lot of those came in like the last fourth of the match almost. It felt
That
like.
sounds familiar. There was a long stretch of the match where Troxberg was getting Tim Nielsen's pieces down and just could not get any removals off of it.
Yeah. And we did see what I would say was my most favorite play of the match, and maybe the whole week, which was market acquisition Triform Cutter blitzing in on market acquisition Little Oomph, and foul appearance
Yeah.
coming up, and yeah, Triform Cutter couldn't get through it even with a reroll.
Yeah, it's always nice when there's like a specific like skill on and then the first match watch, it saves the ball carrier.
Yeah. Well, and I think we were even making remarks about it at the first half of the match, saying like, "Man, wouldn't you like sure hands?" And
Yeah, because Triform Cutter, strip ball, right?
right.
That's clearly how you stop him. Is you don't let strip ball work.
Right. Well, boy, were we wrong. I believe later on in the match we definitely saw strip ball come into play, and it seemed like pretty frustrating from that point on, especially because again, none of these gutter runners took any amount of damage.
Yeah, damage ended up exactly where Tim Nielsen would like it, right, on lineman.
Yeah. And yeah,
and then only stat bust on a journeyman. The nice thing about having a few of those to put on the line.
Yep, exactly. So yeah, I don't remember. I don't think they turn it over. Did the Skaven manage to get one of their scores in the first half, or was that both in the second?
I don't recall, unfortunately.
Yeah,
that was like the end of last week.
Yeah. It was pretty. You could feel a little bit of the frustration. If you've done any bash coaching against AV7, certainly by the latter half of that first half, you would have liked to see. I'm sure Troxperts would have liked to see more removals happening, and like I said earlier, I think they didn't really happen until after the match was kind of sewn away.
Yeah.
So no, let's see. So looks like one beastman was missing from that game. That was what the red was.
Yes.
But no permanent damage for either team. And we do see a gutter runner getting block and being therefore more annoying.
Yeah, fun. Nice choice on a normal level.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. Next up is Mean Green versus Tainted Brewers. And this one, I believe, so the Pimp actually streamed this one.
Yep.
And this one was a grind,
Hmm.
as you'd expect, right?
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. Two control teams, just slamming against each other.
yeah, and a lot of block, right? So like,
Yeah.
just yeah, I remember, uh, the Orcs had the ball in the first half, and it was just, it was just like a 11 car pileup in the middle with black orcs and chaos dwarf blockers, and everyone was just standing around pushing at each other pretty much.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
even the removals and such, didn't end up being all that much. The
Surprisingly low damage game for the amount of time that they're up against each other.
yep, yep. I mean, 60 blocks succeeded for
Yeah.
for the orcs
Yeah.
in
That's
a
a lot. That is a
i-
lot of blocks to see.
in a
39 is actually a
non-overtime
fair
game.
number of succeed.
Yeah, yeah, right.
60 is actually pretty wild.
Yeah. I feel like you really only see that in like once you start getting into like overtime matches or something like that.
We have Pimp Imp in chat, um, reminding that there was, yeah. So yeah, this was the miss the first 5 pickups and miss on all five
Oh
on the
yes.
5-man fireball
Oh
game.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I should learn to look at my notes. Yeah, this was the rain match.
Yeah,
There was rain all through the first half. Can't remember if it switched for the second. But yeah, first five pickups were all failure. Yeah, that's why we see the ball possession in their own half being absolutely zero.
yeah,
Because yeah, when they did pick up the ball one turn, they had to get it to a safe place, so they threw it in the rain. I had to throw it. I mean, there was no other spot for it. They threw it in the rain and fell over, and yeah, everyone just
yeah.
like stared at it while they pushed each other around.
But yeah, looking at the dice rolls for Mean Green Ants, 9 pickup attempts, 1 success.
Oh man, yeah,
It's like it's in the rain. I think some of those may have been in tackle zones once the ball was in a scrum because that
hmm
happened pretty quick. That like the chorus moved up
yeah.
and just surrounded the ball. Still not a good percentage.
No.
It's a worse percentage on it. Like if you needed right,
Say that again.
if you needed a 6+, you would still get 1 and 6, and you got 1.
Oh yeah, it got 109. Oh my gosh. Is it like enough to be like like would you just go out and get an orc thrower after a match like that? Not that Sure Hands would have saved you those pickups,
No.
but it would have like saved you on the rerolls.
Yeah, yeah. I mean that's the incentive of it, right? At least that way you don't burn all your rerolls desperately trying to get the ball off the ground. Now that's where you want like the big hand pest. It's why you're playing Earth and Chaos.
Yeah, 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 exactly. Man. Yeah, that's right. I remember that. Yeah. Um
And yes, Pimpin pointed out the first 5 of those pickup attempts were in the open.
yeah, yeah,
So
and
those were 50-50s because of the rain.
that's true. Um
Yeah.
yeah, I think they were I think this was another match where, right, where the same thing happened with Cross Empire, where they sent one person back. They couldn't do anything with the ball, and obviously there wasn't rain involved there, so that's just some bad dice. But um, yeah, the other team getting back there and mixing things up, making it tough. But yeah, I think if you're Gujira, I I I don't know. I think that's a tough match to take
Yeah.
any lessons from because it's just like yeah, rain and failed pickups aren't going to happen every week.
Yeah, it's not going to be a surprise. Like if you make 9 attempts to pick up and get it once, you're probably not winning that match.
Yeah, 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 exactly. Um,
Be glad it's a long season, right?
yeah, yeah. And yeah, they did have quite a bit of inducements. So they had a wizard, wandering
Yes.
wandering Apo, and a Bloodwiser babe. Um, which yeah, I can't remember if the babe helped them out too much or not.
I
They
don't.
did have a couple KOs, so
So they had 5 KO attempts and they succeeded on 2 of them.
mm,
So
okay.
I'm not. It would be a pain to dig into.
Mm.
Like
How
what were
that
the
all
actual
went.
numbers on those? Like
Yeah.
were they uh, Like what were the successes? Threes or something is where the babes would have helped. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
Pim Pimp is saying the babe was pretty useless.
The wizard was useless. I'm actually not. I was in love with the wizard choice in the first place for orcs.
Yeah,
Like
right.
wizards on. I like as a neural coach. I don't take wizards. I just take
Yeah.
because I'm going to win through. I get to the ball because you have no pieces left to protect it, not because I like bolt down your dude and then I have no recovery. Is really the main thing.
Right.
And
Right.
this orc team doesn't have recovery either.
Yeah.
So it's 150k that maybe could have gone somewhere else. That said, I don't think that was like the difference in winning the game or not.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I could have gotten them a bench, and maybe that might have helped when their KOs and Babe weren't working on that. But yeah, this isn't. I mean, this isn't the only Bashy team this week that took a wizard where I was kind of scratching my head about it. So I think we'll see with the Khemri match. Which yeah, I get the argument where it's like, well, what if it's like down to the last couple turns and with like, I mean, and you just want to bolt that ball carrier and cough it up.
It's not useless, and I mean the wizard is so good that you can get something out of it still. And like things like a bribe, that's less useful with no dirty player on the team.
Yeah, or bench. I mean, even though you're thinking the bribe's gonna save you from losing your bench, I think it's still kind of nice to have another piece in case it doesn't work. Cool. Yeah.
And Apothecary and Bloodweiser Babe make total sense up against like a couple clubs.
Oh yeah. I think, I mean, again, kind of seeing the development on Tainted Brewers, if I was the Mean Green coach, I would have been pretty worried too, because it's just like, whoa, I need more guard, and and they went to the market. This was something that we didn't get in our precap, but they did go to the market. I think it was like happening while we were doing our precap, but and picked up a guard tackle piece that also has fend, and
that is so Furious Fred is a purchase.
Yep.
Okay. And perhaps put on the market because he's injured.
Yes. Yeah.
Still, I think a great pickup for this team, right? This is
yes.
Fine. You can carry a lineman with some injuries because you need the skills he's got on him because you don't have him other places, or at least not enough of them other places.
Right.
Where a more developed coach team might say, you know what, I can afford to recycle this guy.
Yeah.
Or maybe they just quit and whatever.
Yeah. No, I think it. I think looking at the teams that we have in this division, I think it's perfect, and it gets you a little extra guard in the meantime while you get your Black Orcs to that second level, and the tackle is immediately useful. So yeah, you can't. It's gonna be tough to not have enough tackle in the Stiv, I think.
Yeah, because out of those Black Orcs, 2 of them are 3 away from a level, 1 away from
and
nice. So we should hopefully see in the next few games like a couple more instances of guard showing up on this team.
Yep. And I didn't see the second half of this one, but I assume it seemed like from the first half, like Tainted Brewers was playing fairly solidly, like not trying to like, the scrum happens, but they weren't actively trying to like get too bogged down. I think they were trying to get the ball if they could, but in the rain with just agility 3 pieces, it was going to be tough, and they couldn't quite get the defensive score. But it seemed like they were playing smartly, not trying to overcommit, and imagine the second half went just as smoothly.
I don't know all the details, but it basically there was like there was the failed wizard.
Oh wow! Okay, I
did
not know about that.
Like, it made the Pim-Pim's life easier.
Yeah.
Once that fails, it's like, okay, I no longer need as much like strength in my cage. I can
right
more reliably move up the field.
Yeah, that's a huge load off when that happens. Great. Okay. Next match.
This is one you should be familiar with.
Yeah, I don't. I guess we didn't really talk about how we're gonna cover my matches. but
you'll say from your perspective.
yeah. So this was a fun match, and you know, easy to say that when you win, but it was like it was interesting. You know, Arfarf I'm an elf was not elf-like. If I remember
Mhm.
right, we were making jokes in the game chat about how I think I was doing better dodges um,
Mhm.
than he was, which I guess I do have two agility up pieces, but he managed to badly hurt one of mine pretty early on, and that was due to a huge misplay on my part where I put my runner on the sideline to try to like
Mhm.
clog things up, thinking, and I guess just as a result of rust, oh yeah, this runner has sidestep. All my runners have sidestep.
Mhm.
Where if you look at Chicken of the V, they very clearly do not. And so they actually got injured before they could get surfed. The first block from the wolf was a good one and badly hurt it, and so that
Yeah.
didn't go well. But I think through all that had like managed to clog things up in the middle pretty well. Managed to get the ball surfed at some point towards the middle of the first half, and that scattered very well for me.
Mhm.
Managed to pick up and score in the first half, and then um, second half, I, I I can't remember if I pressed to get that second score, or if
You
I
did.
think
You pressed too hard to get the second score,
yeah,
and
that's what it was.
a that was totally unnecessary to lose.
Yeah, yeah. I think you cut out a little bit, but yeah, I think he said I pushed my ball carrier up and took a blitz from tackle that I really didn't need to at all.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Um,
mean, and I definitely approve of like if you're up 1-0 and it's your drive and you can make it. That's basically the game.
yeah,
So it doesn't make
yeah,
sense to stall, but rushing it is unnecessary given you don't need to score to win.
right. Yeah, and I think at that point, like there was a pretty steady stream of players being removed. It doesn't quite. Yeah, I feel like the two KOs. I feel like I sustained more than that, but I guess so. Um, but yeah, the badly hurts started sticking, and um, yeah, it was. And the Miss Next game happened pretty early on in the second half, so I was kind of pressed or feeling pressed to get scoring, even though I think they had similar amount of players left. Like I think it was
Mm-hmm.
like an 8-on-8, 7v7 sort of affair
Mm-hmm.
in the second half, and I probably
But
could have.
that can be sometimes rougher on the offense because you reserve more players for screening.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's what I was feeling when I could have just probably used those a little more tactically, and I would have been a bit more safer. But as it turned out, I managed to recover it, and I think I scored actually that second touchdown at the very end when they had picked up the ball a couple times, and I counter sacked and
Yeah,
uh,
there was werewolves picking up the down, picking up the ball, get a knockdown.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, so yeah, it was more back and forth I think than the scoreline says. Um, their inducements were really interesting to me. They took Satek and a wizard, um, and so yeah, spent a little extra on that. But they were going back and forth on a lot of different options that could have been really fun. I mean, Satek and a wizard's pretty fun, but they were
Mm-hmm.
looking at maybe hack or a few other things that I think uh, all the Necro star players are pretty interesting to me, and they were I think trying to figure out the best combination there.
Yeah, yeah,
The
and
w-
that makes sense. You should look at your options, right?
yeah
350. You have a lot
yeah
of options. But
yeah
I this is we talked about how there were some games should have taken a wizard, or was it the best choice? This one is a one I think it made is fine.
yeah yeah
Werewolves are fast enough to recover.
yeah absolutely yeah I thought they did a good job or actually, yeah, I think the point in which they chose the wizard was okay. They didn't get the results they wanted, and
Yeah.
it was I'm sure pretty frustrating at that point. Plus, it was on their offense when I had like I think it was after I'd surfed the ball. I was kind of in a space where there was a number of my players and not many of theirs.
Yeah, I think it was like you were in the middle of the field and like had someone like basically just kind of doing like a partial screen,
Mm-hmm.
and they went after that.
Yeah. Yeah.
With the theory to get the ball on the ground. It just didn't get enough.
Yeah. I think a couple of those pieces were pretty good ones, but yeah, it didn't work out. So yeah. Yeah, I don't have any other thoughts on this, but
I thought that, so yeah, one thing I thought was, and you brought this up a bit, was just how much sideline play there was on the Necro drive. Just there's actually was no, but that was because turn after turn it would either be the block that would have surfed somebody was a both down sort of thing, or because the block before that, because there's so much frenzy on the field, was someone getting knocked over. So the surf wasn't available. So it was like it was a game that easily could have had like half a dozen surfs between the two of you, and it didn't work out that way.
Yeah, I think they were. I mean, that obviously, well, it plays into both of our advantages. I guess I was gonna say, for them it would do pretty well, but I mean, with a strength 4 block werewolf, I think that works pretty well. But I suppose I have some pretty good surf pieces as well.
Yeah, I mean the Ulfs are already strength 4.
I think it's the movement, but like
yes, yeah. But when you guys are like slammed up against each other on this,
yeah, it really doesn't matter, need to move right? That fast. Yeah,
like some of the surf attempts where your piece was standing next to a werewolf, clicked on your piece.
Yeah. Like I said, it was very exciting.
Yeah.
Cool. Next up, we have, I think this was our first match of the week, and this was pretty interesting. Did you stream this one and I joined halfway through? I think that's what.
That sounds right.
Yeah, so this was our elf off, and I guess we'll have a lot of those, but our non-mirror elf off here of the wood elves and the high elves going at it. Kind of one of our
huge TV differential.
Yeah. We got All Bark No Bite, who's one of our picks for either playoff or Challengers Cup, and the high elves, who I think with a bit of development could do something great. But yeah, right now they are down low on players, and even certainly on stat ups if you compare them to All Bark No Bite.
Yeah, they're low on players and a little bit off right now. They could use something interesting to happen to them.
Yeah,
like the half dozen interesting things that have happened to David Declare's team.
Yeah. Now, I guess we should say Michael Jackson, is that's 2 of the stat ups, and those did come from the market, but yes, still he comes into a host of stat ups already, and boy, yeah, this was an interesting match.
Yeah, my main note for this, at streaming it, I didn't make it. I was just basically very aggressive play by David Declare.
Yeah,
like he just went for it turn after turn.
Yeah, I think I came in right at the end of the first half, which I think the High Elves were trying to. Were they trying to go up 2-1 at that point?
I don't recall.
Yeah, I'll have to take some better notes next time. But
to the people I am, we're gonna try to get a little better on having a few sentences written down for each of the matches.
Yeah, I mean, I do remember the part that I watched, and it was tough for the High Elves to really be able to do anything. The Wood Elves went on. It was 1-1 at the half, and the Wood Elves were going on offense, and they were really able to drag out their offense. Like the High Elves were not able to break armor or really like make a dent to pressure the Wood Elves into doing much more than scoring when they did. They did get a chance. They did get a chance at the ball late in that half, and I remember them knocking it free, but didn't have a recovery, like a really strong recovery option. So they just kind of like caged up around it along the sideline. But then one of the Agi 5 pieces, it might have been Michael Jackson, was just able to hop in and pick it up and score.
Oh, and speaking of Michael Jackson, this was also the match where, and this is a note to people who play against David Declare in the future. Look up how pass block works. Be aware what pass blocking is. Because there was a very interesting
Exploding.
play early in the first half in which there was an attempted handoff by the peak altitude where Michael Jackson kicks in, goes, stands next to the person receiving the ball, and then you've got blood step on the person who just got handed the ball.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And obviously Els can dodge away from that because it's not like diving tackle or anything. But he and this was very good play by David Leclerc, put it in the correct square so that like the path the piece clearly wanted to go to continue the line of play all of a sudden was a dodge into all of a sudden required a dodge into multiple tackle zones.
Yeah.
So it was just very nicely used in that sense that it didn't stop the pass and an opportunity to interrupt the turn and change the screen.
Yeah, yeah.
And that was enough to really hurt the play by Darkanan.
Yeah, so yeah, David commented in chat that he almost stole it during the opening drive by the High Elves. High Elves were able to score, and so and then I guess David scored and then stalled it out. That's seeming a little. I might have that backwards then. But yeah, half was 1-1, and then we saw the. Oh yeah, he stalled out the second half, is what he's saying. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. He basically instead of it being he took the drive in the first half, he just was able to respond.
Yeah.
Which is still pretty good.
Yeah, and I think I feel like I came in when the High Elves had 2 turns to then counter score themselves, but couldn't quite get it done. Seem to remember some, either a pass attempt or something else, just not quite happening for them. I did not see. Oh yeah, there was Eldril, Sidewinder, as well as the Wizard and the 2 babes for Darkanon. So a lot of inducement money in that match.
Yeah, and I think well spent. Just didn't get him enough in terms of actual results.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, solid. I think fairly solid win for All Bark No Bite. We'd said they played pretty aggressively, but I think that also put them in position to win the game. Probably just probably stalled out the second half a little longer than I was comfortable with, but it worked fine and made it pretty hard for the High Elves to counter.
Yeah.
Great. And then this is our last played match of the week, and that's the Skaven Rat Rodents versus the Flyboys.
This is the other match we mentioned with the questionable Wizards.
Yeah. Was this the only match with a stadium inducement or a stadium?
Yeah, this time around, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a few stadium inducements. Most teams don't have a stadium inducement.
Right.
We'll see a few for the next week's games.
Yep. When it flips around, or for some it does. Yeah. So they have the Bribe Stadium, which I really like
it's a lot of fun
for Khemri. I guess you also see pretty often the Wizard Stadium for them, but this is a lot more fun, I think. They got a Wizard, a Bribe, and 2 Bloodwiser babes. I like the second Bribe. I wasn't crazy about the Wizard. So I think like we said earlier, there are things you can do with it defensively, but I think with a team that is so much faster than you,
really hard to capitalize on.
Yeah, and with again 3 agility ups there, they have options to go back in, if you lightning bolt or even fireball. They probably have counter recovery options that you won't necessarily have.
Yeah, and so to dig into specifically, I'll note that Rat 6, the last skeleton, was a purchase specifically for the match.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I might have attempted to not buy that just so I'd have 390 in inducements, because that's a Bribe, a Bloodwiser Babe, and Satek.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, they do have enough skeleton fodder
Yeah, and
that.
Satek adds you a piece the same way the skeleton does, right? You have
Right,
the same
right.
pieces on the field.
Yep.
It's just that instead of a skeleton, it's Satek, who's really nice.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I guess I can see they're thinking like get another piece and that'll be my fouling piece, but I think you have enough fouling pieces,
Yeah.
certainly now. But like once that dirty player got sent off,
Well, and again, if you wanted an
yeah,
extra fouling piece, buy Satek. Don't foul with him, but
yeah,
then that means you
yeah,
can upgrade one of your other skeletons to a
right,
fouling
yeah,
because you. It's all that matters in terms of fouling is the bench.
right,
Like,
right, exactly.
can you end a drive and then get pieces back on the field?
Yeah, exactly. You're not gonna worry about running out of skeletons. You're just gonna be worried, like, yeah, being a little short on the bench. And so, yeah, Satek's a bit of an upgrade, uh, one could say. Um,
And I'll say in terms of I'm certainly questioning like some decisions being made. Coaches are going to make their own decisions and they have their own
yeah,
feelings on like what works or what doesn't. All I'm basically trying to put out there is like sometimes I see people just like hammer wizard as soon as they're like at 150 or higher, and I feel like there's definitely matchups where like it's not actually the money.
yeah, yeah. Um, yeah. I think the Wizard's a really fun tool because you click it, you click on a piece that you want to
Yeah,
like explode, and it does. And there's
yeah, it's a whole
nothing
new thing you get to do.
there's nothing else in the game like it. Yeah, so it's really hard to separate that, and especially when you hold in your memory those times where the wizard like did everything for you,
Yeah,
and so like you're always gonna want to make similar moments happen with it.
yeah,
Um,
and in this match, it's very easy to say, well, the wizard wasn't worth it because he used a lightning bolt and it didn't do anything, right? And he rolled a one.
right, right.
And so it's like, and it was on the ball carrier in a where it might have stopped a score, might have allowed a turnover.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not. This was in the second half. The Flyboys had turned him over and
Yep.
had taken the
Yep.
ball and was pushing up the field and was moving into scoring position. Actually, no, I'm sorry. And actually, that's
No,
actually
that.
backwards. They had pulled backwards into their own half um, in order to try to protect the ball. And this was the Camry pushing at that piece.
Mm-hmm.
And we saw Wizard as part of that.
Yeah, I think that was right. Yeah, so because Khemri were on offense first, um, and the Flyboys were able to get a turnover,
Yeah,
and they got the ball, and yeah, it kind of pulled back to. Well, you're saying the Wizard was in the second half? Is that what?
I think so.
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
Maybe I may be remembering.
yeah. I think yeah.
I
I mean,
definitely know it was like it was they were pulled back and the Wizard bolt came down, right?
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah. Um, yeah, and we also see um, that the Skaven Rat Rodents took a little more damage than.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, certainly way more
more meaningful
important
damage.
damage. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
Mega Craig Dine is that was a nice piece for this team. Does on a lot of guard,
yeah.
and it's the only tackle.
Yeah.
So he was like I think he was saying he called it like a utility blitz raw,
Mm-hmm.
and it's sad to have him go,
Yeah.
particularly in this division where tackles so.
Yeah, and I mean, even guard too is going to be helpful against those other bash teams,
Yeah,
and yeah, I know. Watching Klepto Knight's stream, he was mourning the loss right along with Craig Pitpup because I think, well, as he put it, he wanted to see that Blitzer go on to do murder to
yeah.
other teams.
He's got 13 games coming up, and like
Yep, yep. Um, yeah, and if anybody's seen Blitzers die needlessly and early in their lifespan, it's been Klepto Knight. He's been through quite a few, as we can see. Johnny Dota Boyd 7.0.
yeah, Powers buried like 7-8 blitzers.
Yeah, yep, yep, yep. Yeah, so yeah, so that moment, I think that happened at the just like
That was very late. It was very late.
yeah.
It was not. So it's attentive viewers might notice that Chuck Yeager a incredible pieces marked with an expulsion symbol, indicating that he fouled his way out of the game. That was very, very late in the game.
Yeah.
But that was just like a normal skeleton. That was not what took out Mega Craig.
Yeah, no, yeah. Right, yeah, because of the referee rest area. Yeah, we did see quite a bit of fouling on both sides. Rat the Third managed to get tossed out. I think what was it, like the first 4 fouls of the game, the ref the ref was requesting bribes. I think he must have sensed just how many there were.
Yeah. Well, it's a loss for him if like you finish the match and there's still a bribe out. That's just money not in his pocket.
That's right.
Those things are $100K each.
Could pay for Little Goblin Ref's college fund.
Yeah.
But yeah. So yeah, I think they finished the first half with no bribes left. I think is what happened, and Skaven Rat Road started with 2, so it was a little sad if you're a foul aficionado.
Yeah, but I will say one thing. We discussed Mega Craig dying. It's possible if you were to say, I don't know if they would fully make this trade, but like getting block on a Tomb Guardian is that's a silver lining to development in this match, right?
Yes,
that's huge.
Yeah.
Because you need to get it on some of them. You need to have 1 or 2 of them that are like reliable, where you can blitz with them instead of the blitz Raws, and it's not a 1 in 9, right? It's a 1 in 36 failure.
Yeah.
And where they can take a hit and they're not just getting upheld by Chorfs all the time.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And so getting a block, 1 of those, 2 of those get block is great. And he's already got Mighty Blow, so hopefully he'll keep letting.
Yep.
And he could be like a real star player on the team.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that right. Yeah, if we're saying the ghost of Mega Craig fueled Rattricia in their level up roles. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if I'd make that trade. I don't know, but it's pretty good. Like you said, pretty good silver lining there for sure. All right, yeah. So that brings us to the end of the week. We had, I think I did even load it. We did have, one match that ended up just the admins threw that in as a draw. It seems like Strazier's Apple Pickers are going to be replaced. We'll look at the replacement team, Ravenpo's Wood Elf team.
Yeah, the replacement team is in the division, so everything's set up there. And I believe, and one thing I'm actually curious to see rankings is, I believe this draw was applied to the admin Rats of Nim team.
Mm-hmm.
So I am curious, like, is OP Cubby coming in with a draw?
Right.
Or are they coming in with a... So I currently have the markers as 0-0, but I'm going to have to see how it shows up.
Yeah.
So there may be like a little back correction. I may frankly need to go to the admins and just ask, like, what is the story here?
Right. Yeah, I think it's interesting because, both, all this was happening, I think, yesterday as they were trying to pull together, like these last 2 pieces before things really started rolling with the division. And I know Rats and Nim, that coach did show up, and they are seemingly ready for the season, but a bit too late to get this game in this week,
which wouldn't have even been possible in the first place. But they might, if they showed up earlier, they would have to get a seed win.
Yeah,
I think what it would have been. But everyone I think should be applause to Callisti Maya for having hustle to get us a full division. He found a replacement, which isn't always easy in like non-rookie divs. Right. This is an old team that I think didn't play last season.
Yeah, that's correct.
Brought back.
Yeah, similar.
Not the Apple Pickers. The team will see.
Yeah, similar to actually a couple teams, Flyboys being one of them, and All Bark No Bite, taking season 11 off, as it was summertime, and lots of things going on.
Makes sense. Yeah, and the story of this is, if you look over at that Chaos team, that's something you don't have to play.
Yep. Thank Nuffle. Though that does subtract 1 agility up and 1 move up from our ridiculous stat up division.
True.
But and I was very curious to see that minnow in action as a recapper,
Yeah.
not as
Yeah.
somebody who wanted to play it.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, that brings us to week 2, and yeah, as we alluded to, we've got more sheets for that. So we'll be using these sheets to kind of go through each of the matches versus clicking around in the client. So kind of going through each of these one by one, and yeah.
Yeah, there's a couple things on these that aren't on the previous one. You see, there's these blue boxes. Those are going to track like people's ranking throughout the season.
Mm,
It's not very meaningful right now. It's going to be a few weeks, I think, at least, before we really have to care about that. But might as well have it there as a placeholder. And then there's like a few stats that are going to be like season-long stats
mm.
at the bottom.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, so can get a sense right off the top of TD differential and yeah, damage taken. Obviously, for 1 week, it's pretty skewed.
Right.
Teams that lost are probably going to have more damage against them, or more damage taken, I should say, and yeah, so on and so forth. Excellent. Yeah. So
week 1, Across the Empire versus Arf Arf, I'm an elf.
yeah, our elf mirror kinda. So yeah, so we have Necro against Pro Elves. Pro Elves are going to be home team, no stadium enhancement here, but they will be getting 200 TV to play with.
It's a nice amount of inducements for elves, right? That's a wizard and a Bloodweiser babe, I'd assume.
Yeah, I think this is, as much as we just railed against the wizard, I think.
Well, not for elves.
Yeah, no, I
Elves
know.
are like base.
Just saying, before the wizard union comes in and you know,
disparaging them, like
yeah.
well, it's listen. Blood Bowl works on a bribe economy. Like if they want to have more recommendations,
Yeah,
they
that's
know where to
true.
find us.
Yeah, if they want advertisements up, yes, exactly. They can reach us. But no, yeah, I think elves in general and elves with an agility 5-piece, it seems like a no-brainer to have a wizard. Yeah, this should be pretty interesting. Not having the agility 5 strength up piece for Across the Empire, I'm sure is frustrating. But still,
And that is by the way on 190K piece. So
so that's
I mean there is a journeyman replacement, right? And I believe journeymen are 60K.
yeah.
So it's that, but that's 130K of the 200 is from that piece being out, which is what to say it's funding the wizard. Honestly, that's not a bad trade.
Yeah,
I'd like to have it, but like still, a wizard's real nice.
Right. Yeah, so this team value includes the mercenary, not mercenary, sorry, journeyman cost.
Yeah.
And so yeah,
it's almost the next match TV on REBBL.net, with one exception that I'll talk about when it becomes relevant.
Okay, sounds great. Yeah, and Arf Arf, I'm an elf, also missing a player. Not nearly
not as impressive a player.
Yeah. Just trying to do the parody thing, but yeah, no, it's don't think they're gonna miss that zombie. They are getting this strength plus ghoul back, which was missing from their match week 1 against me. But yeah, otherwise did not take any damage last week, lasting damage last week, so they're pretty much full up. Yeah, how
that ghoul, by the way, is 2 SPP away from leveling.
Oh man,
I think it's very likely because wouldn't it be nice for him to not be such an easy target?
Yeah. I assume you said block. You cut out a little bit there.
Oh, I just some sort of level, but I would assume.
Oh yeah. You'd probably want to try to score on them if you can.
It's the natural ball carrier, anyways.
Yeah. True. Oh yeah, they don't have another ghoul, huh?
Oh, they do. They have 2 ghouls.
Oh yeah, it's down here at the bottom. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it looks like both teams are coming in. They'll have 11 pieces apiece, right?
Yep.
So it'll just be a matter of, yeah, can the elves, like, I think the story will be whether the elves can get good use out of that wizard. Essentially, if they can get a counter score out of
Yeah,
that, and that'll
yeah.
be
If they can
the
do
game
that, then that'll win
decider.
them a game.
Yeah, yeah,
If not, it may not be worth the extent to which they're going to have to be just continuously falling.
yeah, yeah. I think they don't have many pieces that can stand and fight. The sidestep blitzers are nice, and there's only one tackle piece for Arf Arf.
Mm. Glorfindel, who I actually meant to mention the review portion, was used very nicely, I thought, as a safety piece
Yes.
in that match, like just covering the backfield. I assume we'll see that again.
Yeah. Yeah, that could be pretty handy for them.
And we'll see that. I think
match.
that Mighty Blow Werewolf after probably some like unskilled linemen, maybe that kick tackle lineman just to get him out.
Yep.
The guard lineman, stuff like that. The pieces that don't have dodge, because most of the team won't have dodge.
Right.
And if you can get them down to the 3 pieces that do, you're gonna win the game.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I think certainly Elrond is the piece you want to put to work. And yeah, I don't know. I think if I'm elves, I'd probably want to go on defense first, see if I can get that wizard to pop free the ball and do a quick counter score.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think likewise Necro maybe wants to go on defense first. I don't know. I think with elves you probably want to like put some pressure on them to try to score. And I think as we said, like the wizard, assuming that they take it, could play a big role.
Yeah. And yeah, if it's say like a bolt right on the ball carrier, the safety.
Mm-hmm.
If that's a 1, well, that's 150k gone.
Yeah, and we did see.
Yeah.
We've seen that happen already. So,
mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think this could swing either way for me. It looked like we had a question in chat about where we're at in the recap so far. This is as Pimp mentions, this is our first preview. We've gone through the matches that have happened already, and we're just going through week 2.
Yep.
And on to the next match, which is Mean Green and Thick versus Peak Altitude. I'll say that right one time.
Mm-hmm.
Not this time. So this is both these teams had tight, I'd say fairly tight matches, at least on the scoreboard. I know that I think disappointing first week results, but both coming in with some. Well, I should say Peak Altitude is coming in with an interesting piece. They finally got a stat up.
Yeah. Yeah, so, I assume now we'll be seeing a lot of it. Kanjin Junga, in an effort to get skills more than AG5, because AG5 is wonderful, but you need to have something you can do with it, right? You can already dodge away on a 2+, the lineman for a high elf. Now you need him to get like good skills.
Yeah, right. Yeah, because just throwing him into traffic because he can do 2+ dodges instead of 3+ dodges.
Yeah, you need to cage dive with the guy, and it's like, well, okay, but now he's in there. He has no defensive abilities, and he probably didn't accomplish much.
Yeah. So probably, I think you certainly try to get that next level as quick as possible on him. Even though you have some catchers that you probably want to level too. But yeah, that is a nice addition to the division when your elf counterparts have those sort of pieces as well. Also, this ridiculous, I assume, mountain name is great for.
I will note that there was a mistake on this sheet. That should Kilimanjaro should be a thrower, listed as a thrower, not a blitzer.
Okay.
The skills there are correct. It's just
yeah.
Have the wrong name. That'll be fixed next week.
Good call. No, I was just gonna say that this name that I'm probably never going to be able to pronounce for this mountain. Uh,
K2.
no, Kanchenjunga. There we go. Maybe I got it. That is a very nice streamer and recap troll name for that lineman.
Yes.
Jeez, yeah. But yeah, this so only 80K going back
Yeah.
to the
And
orcs.
and this is actually a good opportunity. If you notice, it's at the cache for Peak Alpha, they're at 2. That means if you go on
Oh,
Rebel.net and you look at like what the next match TV is, they would have it be higher than 1480. They would have it be
mm,
at 1540 because they're
mhm.
counting that 60K over.
Yeah,
I am assuming that Darkanan is not going to play the match with 210 in cash.
yeah, we're
He is
probably
either going to buy a lineman or he's going to buy a stadium. Right? He's going
yeah,
to do something with it.
yeah,
It's going to be absurd for him to like give away 140 instead of 80 for
right,
no reason.
right, right,
And
right,
so I
right.
don't count that because I want to give like my best guess as to what the TV is going to be.
Yeah,
It does mean some. However, sometimes I have seen I've done this and had coach. Well, they'll just carry 200 some for some reason that I don't understand.
mm,
Which means if you're a coach and you're looking at these, keep an eye on your specific opponent because it may not end up the same way, or they might buy a piece, right? And so
yep,
all the values are different.
yeah. Yeah, I think right. So if they do just get a lineman, then that's just one less journeyman and doesn't change the
Yeah,
TV. So I think that's a pretty good guess.
yeah. You either do alignment. There's a possibility they would do a catch because that's how many you can get, and eventually you want all of them. That said, I think I'd want to see more development on Vesuvius and Pinatubo at least
Yep, yep,
before going there. Particularly since Kachinjunga also needs to level, right? Like
right.
you've got 3 pieces that you're going to be looking to score on. You don't need a 4th.
Yeah, yeah. It's gonna be yeah. You want and like the guard block piece is a nice piece too. You have no fodder outside of whatever journeyman comes through. So
Yeah,
once
which will right now will be 3, which is fine. But that's why you want to buy linemen because they'll be
yeah,
taking the place of journeyman.
yeah, yeah,
Also, of course, why you might not want to buy them because it's like well, that's what you on the line. Why buy a guy just to put him on the line to die?
yeah. Yeah, yeah, no, true.
So
That's the
it's not
elf
impossible.
way.
Turkana would just into a level 2 stadium.
Yeah,
It's hard to do when you don't have a full lineup, but it also wouldn't be totally nuts.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I'll be curious to see what he does.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Uh, yeah, for this match, right, where you are facing off against a team that's just gonna look to get a lot of blocks. They're the team that I think I'd have to check all the sheets, but I think they got the most blocks out of the week.
I
60.
believe so.
Yeah, which I guess is helpful when you have a bunch of agility 2 pieces that are stuck to you, so that you just start, with short blockers. Just get a lot of block opportunities, but even still, it is orcs, and
I
they
assume
are
they'll base up every turn, right?
yeah they're good at what they do, which is basing and getting as many blocks as they can.
And nice for them, they have 3 tackle. That's more than a lot of teams in this division have.
Yeah,
That
I do.
they are Gojira is in a better position than some of the Basque coaches, I think, to
Mm-hmm.
deal with these elves.
Yeah, yeah,
And he's relatively lead, right? He's coming in under TV.
mm-hmm.
He's not
Yeah,
kind of a wizard.
yeah. So yeah, probably just enough for a babe there, but that's still nice in case you get some accidental removals or purposeful removals, but
Mm-hmm.
as orcs with AV9, you're against a non-claw team, you kind of don't count on KOs happening all that much.
Yeah, only star player that'd be an option would Bomber Triple Snot, and I don't love him against. I don't like Bomber as a personal thing, but particularly against elves.
Yeah, that's not the bomber. It's not the bomber you need.
No.
uh, and we'll probably talk about that in my match, but yeah.
Yes. Oh yeah, we're definitely gonna talk about the Bomber in your match.
But yeah, I don't know what way this match is gonna go. I think it could be either
I'm really
way.
curious to see this. Right, you got 2 lost by one shot. Neither of them took a lot of damage or did a lot of damage, which is all. It's also way sensitive. So it'll give us an impression of these coaches
Hmm.
to get to see them go at each other.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah. Only one mighty blow for the orcs, and yeah. So is nothing too scary on that side. It's just a lot of strength, a lot of block.
True, and high elves outside the catchers are even. so
Mm-hmm.
you can't
Mm-hmm.
count a lot of removals.
Yep. Yep. Um, so yeah, it could be fairly straightforward where we see a lot of like high elf screens and frustrated orcs trying to like mark up everything and
Just dodge away.
yep.
They're
Yep.
gone. Then they decide want to score, pass to the AG5 lineman. He runs through everybody and scores.
Yep. Yep. Exactly. Yeah, you got a nice. I mean, this thrower is like really good.
Yeah,
You know.
the stealth blitzer.
Yeah, that's exactly.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, he's got sure hands to get the ball. He's got accurate to help throw it. You're looking to get more stuff on him eventually, but he can do his basic job really well right now.
Yeah, those are the two levels you want for that. Strong arm, I guess, would be nice.
Strong up would be great. AG up would be great.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Next up, Goblins.dce versus the Skaven Rat Rodents.
Two matches this week in which a misnamed against the original.
Yeah. Well, this is
hoping to pretend that like, oh, we're
yeah. Yeah. Maybe we should say that my whole this is Div 4B thing was all part of my, we've got these teams that are named things not like they are, just like this division. Just trying to keep things on theme.
And they'll find out at the end of the season that the entire time.
Yeah. So yeah, this is like our, our most, obviously I think Wood Elves versus the Khemri would be the most agility, speed against this team, but I guess
still,
yeah,
four very nice gutter runners. Well, two extremely nice gutter runners, two just like very very solid good gutter runners.
Yep.
Against a team that maxes out at 6, unlike a Blitzra.
Right. Yeah, they've got. I don't think they have enough cash.
Yeah, Throw and Blitzras are 6.
Yeah.
And yeah, they do not. Yeah, Blitzra costs $90K, so they cannot afford a new one.
Yeah. So, and you probably just save your money for that replacement. And I think Throw-Ras are Throw-Ras 70.
Throw-Ras are indeed 70K, but yeah, you buy the second Throw-Ra is something you might buy because it's just another move up piece. Yep. But the Blitzra is so much more important.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, so this is going to be a tough one for the Khemri. I think we saw Goblins.dce, have a similar lineup going into their first match. They had a bunch of journeymen, and I think they were, quite happy to just have their the linemen that are on the team and the journeymen that aren't, just kind of like markup players. Chaos, this was chaos. Just like be roadblocks when necessary. Just prevent their top pieces from getting blitzed, and I think it's going to be really tough.
Yeah. I'll note 220 inducements going to the camera. Precisely how much the tech costs.
Yes.
That's what I'd like to see. I would hate to see a wizard in this match.
Yeah, I could see them getting a bribe.
I could see doing like just 2 bribes. That would be the other way I'd go.
Yeah, exactly. Because you have a couple wrestle pieces on the other side that, let's say they wrestle the ball free, get the ball, and run down the other side of the pitch. You're not going to be able to catch them, but you can stomp on Triform Cutter or Rabble Master. And
so I will note, Satek has both block and Juggernaut. So if he blitzes a wrestle piece and he gets it both down, he gets to put it on the ground.
That is, you are pros. Maybe
I love Juggernaut.
Is our, I was gonna say, is Satet sponsoring this recap?
Yeah. He and I have an existing outside business relationship, so we try to promote each other. But no, I would not mind 2 bribes. Yeah, and you've got the dirty player, sneaky get guy.
Yeah. David pointing out in chat that Skaven Rat Rodents don't have a bench, which I didn't quite piece together. Though, do they? They have one. No, that's right, because they're missing the skeleton and the Blitzraw's gone. So they were up 13 last match, and they're to 11 now.
Yeah, I mean, and he's also pointing out, in terms of like the bash game, we've got Mighty Blow Claw on the Skaven team, which is just going to come right at. I would think Ultra Craig, third if he gets exposed, the throw raw, because man, do you need a throw raw to get the if the throw raw goes out, like say during the defensive drive for the Khemri, it's like there goes your ability to move the ball.
Right.
So yeah, I could see an argument for not doing it. At the same time, bribes do in theory keep that player in the game. So
yeah. And somebody else out in chat asking if you buy the extra throw raw, given that it would cut into the inducements. And I think we're saying don't buy the throw raw until you can buy the blitz raw.
Right. Yeah. You can buy the throw raw. You're almost certainly going to get that next match, and so you wait for that because you just a truly essential piece.
Yeah.
And it's where you're going to put tackle next, right? Like unless you get Ultra Craig leveled up. Let's where the tackle goes on this team.
Yeah. I think it's similar. I would compare it similar to how the throwers are on Underworld, which are you get a second one because it is a positional technically.
Yes. It's not a goblin, that's a strength too.
Exactly. And it has good movement, and so you get that second one and you build it something weird. But you don't.
Yeah, you see like wrestle tackle on them sometimes.
Yeah.
Because it's like where else are you going to put wrestle on a piece that you actually blitz with?
Yeah.
Because the blitz raws, start with block.
Yeah. I think I tended to go wrestle with my line rats, but it's the same thing. And you don't. Well, I can't remember if in the starting lineup you can buy them right away, but I think you can only start with one, and and that's fine. And then
David Leclerc agreed with our comment that you wait to buy the thrower. Have that.
Yeah, totally. But yeah,
I think we're agreeing uphill match for the Khemri. I don't think it's unwinnable, but this is not a good matchup for them. In general, I think Skaven versus Khemri and the Skaven team's so nice.
Yeah, so I didn't get a chance to fully look at this, but there was an article on Rebel News Net that came out that was going through there's an ELO created, and for each team, which is pretty exciting, for I think REL and G-Man, and also part of that they did numbers on every versus matchup, like racial versus matchup, in each division, right? So like in REL, you could see how the matchups have gone throughout all of REL between Skaven and Khemri.
So they actually have, if that's what that means, they actually have a Khemri winning 15-4-7 versus Skaven, which is interesting. That's not how I'd expect that to go.
That is not how I would expect that to go at all either. Maybe that's just all McMackey.
Yeah, that's interesting. I need to look up more into how this actually works before we.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe I shouldn't have brought it up, but it was very. This is not a matchup.
Apparently, that's not used for the prediction itself. It just.
No, it's not. Yeah, and so there's a different ELO for each one, and I don't know if we'll use that for the recaps. And given that it just came out today, it wasn't something we could really plunk in here, but it'll be interesting to see as they develop it.
Yeah, but it means it's. I'm curious to see this match, right? Because these are two very teams, and it'll be interesting to see each of the coaches after that.
Yeah, I think the first
there is a risk here with all this like Mighty Blow Tomb Guard that like all the line rats go away, and at that point, the Skaven team is in a really bad position.
Yeah, not having any tackle for the Khemri is gonna make it tough.
Yeah, and just for reference, that's the tackle Blitzraw that died last game.
Right. Yeah, so this is yeah, a rough, even if it was MNG, a rough
Yeah,
match not to have it. Um, and like we can't really forget too, like the Skaven have two pretty nice blitzers, and one of them has claw, and
yeah.
like, yeah, why not
He
send them
could easily do
screaming?
some real damage.
Yeah, right
Yeah,
against
like
Stoom
that's what I
Couriers.
was saying. That like the blitz, if the blitz were on the raw get removed from the field, there's just no
Mm.
way to do an offense as the Khemri,
Mm. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
and that's basically the game. And it's just two pieces, right? Because there's only one throw on. Only
Right, right. Yeah, skeleton ball is really only a thing in Lineman League.
mm. Yeah, I mean they are AG2. In theory, they can move it around, but they're
Yeah, they're yeah even slower than the other pieces.
so yeah. Good luck to Craig Pitt.
Yeah, yeah,
We're curious to see how you do.
yeah. I mean, there could be a few good turns at the beginning that like removals go their way and give them some more space to punch and mark stuff and that'll be pretty exciting to watch if that happens. All right, on to Sterling Hornets versus Silkwood City Slickers. I'm just gonna say it like it's supposed to be. This is the new Wood Elf team and our Pro Elf team that's on top of the division right now based on TD differential.
The crazy 4-1
Yeah,
differential.
that'll do it. In this match, we actually see is scheduled for Friday,
Mm-hmm.
11 p.m., 11:30 p.m. Eastern time. So a bit late probably for me to stream it, but I will try to catch a little bit of it.
Yeah, that feels like I might end up.
Yeah, maybe somebody else can pick it up, but if not, replay's fine. But yeah, this is the unknown. I mean,
Yeah, so we want to just focus on that first. Like,
let's talk a little bit about our new Wood Elf team. That doesn't look as much like our current.
Another layout mistake here. Noble Gillingham does not have his proper box.
Oh man,
That'll be fixed next week as well.
Let's toss it out. Start all over. But at least not labeled as a blitzer, right? So
yes, he is in fact a thrower.
Yeah, yeah, and he does have leader because yes. two rerolls and a leader thrower. Yeah, this is interesting. We don't have as many, stat ups to like wow us out of the box, but
only a strength up warden.
yeah.
That's like the disappointing thing. And yes, you would love to see a somewhere on this team, like right. Bailey, Chris Coolidge. Certainly, if like he leveled up and got an agility increase, would be awesome.
Yeah.
Still a very nice team with a lot of good things going on.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, that strength up war dancer is amazing. Like, short of Mighty Blow, which, okay, it's still like having Frenzy, one of those pieces, and Strength 4. Yeah, that's pretty gross.
Yeah, that seems like the sort of conventional blitzer. You might use, say, a Surf better or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But in general, just like general blitzer, and then you have the strip ball sidestep guy to go into the cage.
Yep.
And strip ball is obviously great for that, and sidestep's nice for that because it's going to cut down the number of hits you take.
Yeah.
As you get batted around inside there.
Yeah, exactly. And as we know, they come out of the box pretty good. So yeah.
Best piece in the game out of the box, perhaps.
Yeah. So they're, I think that core is pretty good. Their catchers are in decent shape too. Way. Yeah, jump up's interesting.
I assume that's the counter to the wrestle, right? Like give this guy lots of mobility, but it's interesting. You'd assume you'd want to attack one at some point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, probably didn't know what they were getting into with this division, and I'm not sure what they're a 1 season old team that I think we said at the beginning that or towards the beginning that took a season off, so they were in div, rookie div in season 10 and then took a season off, and I'm not sure what that looked like. But yeah, and some nice linemen with got a blodge lineman and then dodge and block on each other's, and then I think definitely has some good pieces to get going right away in this division. The tree is also it's got its first level, and guard I think is nice for that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like the start of it, and we'll see if it starts to take on something as it goes through the season.
Yeah, it's like, I like that we have a Wood Elf team without the Tree Man. If we're gonna have two of them,
Yeah,
that it's neat to have that comparison.
Yeah, though I think David's talked about like trying to
He'll buy one eventually.
Yeah, trying to get enough money for it.
Well, until then, I'll enjoy some matches with him.
yeah, exactly. And so they're coming in under on TV to the Sterling Hornets, who we've talked about before. They're
this is our skillful pro up team, not the stat up pro up team.
Yep.
They only have one strength up.
Yep. But that's pretty nice. Still, I think probably next, maybe getting some dodge on them, but it seems like they're kind of the heavy hitter, and also having guard there too. But yeah, I think with 120 and no cash in hand, we're not going to see a wizard. But I don't know. I think this will be interesting to see.
I am curious what you do with that, right? Because a tribe, how much are you fouling? You could do a couple babes just because you're 87.
Yeah. I mean, they came in to the Discord talking about how they're a murder elf team, so maybe we will see.
Yeah, maybe.
Just fouling all the time. They'll have what? They'll have one journeyman, or no?
Yes, they'll have one journeyman.
Yeah. So that'll that's your fouling piece.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think in an elf.
I'll be curious to see where they go, because it'll tell you something about how they think about the game.
Yeah. And I think Ravenpo's fairly well known coach. I have not seen him coach elves, but he's done. He was the ogre coach that I think it was ogres, or maybe it was goblins, that made it to the playoffs via the stunty ticket.
Okay.
And it might have been goblins, but they've also written a number of guides on Reddit that you've probably.
That's how I know the name.
Yes,
I read his article.
Yep. Yeah. So
I don't do exactly what he says, but
it's a good reference point, and I think he's pretty. I think he's a pretty big fan of fouling and dirty player pieces and that sort of thing. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a bribe in an elf v elf matchup with no mighty blow on the other side. Two babes just seems, I don't know, seems kind of wasteful.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, that'd be interesting.
Yeah. But yeah, I think this will be a good test. And a good place, for the City Slickers to come in and kind of show us show the div what they've got, and a good test for the Hornets to see, like, if was last week just kind of a weird coalescence of ones going against your opponent and you being able to capitalize. How will they do? And
if again, it's a 4-1 win, that'll be an interesting result.
Yeah. And against you're against wood elves, and they have a tree and war dancers, and I think there will be a lot of things flying around, literally and figuratively. That'll be I think this will be probably the most want to watch match of the week.
Yeah, makes sense. And David confirming in Raven Poe taking goblins to the playoffs.
Oh, okay, great, thank you. Yeah, that was a fun. I don't think they had a very fun playoff match. I think they were pretty frustrated with it, but they had a fun season, I remember. All right. Anything else you want to say about, since we haven't talked about City Slickers before? Anything else?
I feel like we basically covered it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's
I like leader on the thrower to
yeah,
keep the team trim.
yeah, yeah.
Instead of trying to make it like this incredible throwing piece.
Right. Yeah. So that
It's what else for me that you don't
yeah,
they don't necessarily need to pass that way.
yeah.
All right, but yeah, we can go on to the next one.
Yeah. Goatwork Orange, our lone chaos team versus the Rats of Nim. It's our second Skaven team, which does not have a match yet.
Yeah, we've discussed the team, but they haven't played yet. So.
Yep.
They came into the season with these two MNGs that are shown there, and still have them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And this is the ramp up team. Yeah, as we covered in our precap, that just does not have much development. I think they only have 6 matches under their belt total for their team, and
coming up against a team with a lot of development.
Yeah,
certainly for the div at least, and a lot of damage dealing ability.
Yeah, even in their, well, maybe especially because of, but in their loss, they were able to do, still able to do 4 CAS, and yeah, you got some, yeah, just a couple mighty blow, but I think with enough strength and block and everything to just
and so much block against a team with block.
Yeah, yeah.
So much of it 87.
Yep.
No tackle on the chaos team.
Yep.
None of the gutter runners having block, and a lot of ability to get 3 dies on them with either like just 1 assist.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be scary.
Yeah. Though they will be sitting pretty with 470k in inducements. Silver lining. I think Skaven probably have a lot that they can do with that. Just in general, even if it's not. You really would want like one of these gutter runners with like wrestle or something that can also like kind of help with like cage diving a little bit. But
yeah, that's part of the problem. Is like there isn't even the gutter runner pieces to make the chaos scared about the ball.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah,
Skaven with the 470 probably get Glart, right?
Against chaos, yeah.
Just to have a body on the field.
Yeah. Right.
And that's only he's only 2, so that still leaves you 260 to spend on like a wizard and apothecary or something.
Yeah, I think you do get the wizard. Because like we said, if you're able to like wizard and get the ball in the open without doing anything with your pieces, you can still like hop in there, potentially grab it and run off. Huh.
Yeah.
Interestingly, yeah, Goatwork Orange getting both their Skaven matches out of the way at the start.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I like Glart because you don't have any other piece that can blitz really. I mean, like you have 1 Stormrunner with no mighty blow, so yeah, just get Glart. He's got block. He's got mighty blow and claw.
He does not have mighty blow. He has claw, but no mighty blow.
Shoot. Okay.
But he does have block.
Yeah. Block and claw,
and Juggernaut.
Oh, really?
So he's not gonna get tied up. Yep.
Huh. I don't remember that from using him before, but
I am looking at the instruction manual.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I feel a tinge of regret. I wonder if I was using it wrong the whole time. Or maybe it's just been that many seasons since I played Underworld. Yeah. But yeah, I think yeah, you need as much block as you can just out of that, and Clark's strength 4 too has got to be helpful. Yeah,
just gonna have to stay mobile.
Yeah.
Don't let your gutter runners get tied down. That's where the quality right now is, that you've got the 2 heads. You got the double for the 2 heads. You got them. You really want to protect them and develop, and make them into something. So you try to win the match. Also, just try to keep your pieces alive.
Yeah. Do they have an Apo? I would assume so after 6 matches.
I believe so. I believe I looked through this, and every team that can get an app, I
Okay.
believe.
Okay.
So I didn't bother listing it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I have confirmed they have an app.
Okay.
Everyone who can have an Apple has an Apple, so just assume it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't what I was gonna say is like I don't think you would take two. I think just like we said, Glart and a Wizard. And even though
Oh,
you're
Clark and the Wizard is 370, so 100
Oh.
left.
Oh, okay.
That's why I think you get the Apothecary.
Oh, okay.
Because it's either that or two Bloodvisor Babes, and I'd rather keep a Gutter Runner alive than
Yeah.
get a lot of stuff back. Though,
Yeah.
going the other way.
Yeah, I mean, right. Like, I don't know which one do you save, but I guess you save because they're expensive.
Yeah.
Save whichever one dies or whatever.
Yeah. We got David commenting Red Ogre being interesting, which, yeah, we talked about that the pre-cap.
Yeah.
But I in this matchup, it's nice that because if he dies, it's a shame, but it's less bad than a Gutter Runner.
Right.
And he's just a big body.
Yeah. Do you blitz with him a bunch?
You definitely blitz with him some of the time.
Yeah.
That if Glart is not available to blitz, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I think right. You blitz. Try to look for a blitz that's strategic and within range and stuff.
Yeah, if you're on offense, that's your attempt to move, claim some territory upfield, that sort of thing.
Right. Yeah, I'm trying to think of like an early Norse team. Like I definitely against bigger opponents like Chaos, I definitely blitzed with my Yeti like constantly. Because my Berserkers didn't have Mighty Blow. All early on, just made more sense to blitz with the claw piece.
Yeah, the Rat Ogre, of course, Mighty Blow, but still, Mighty Blow is great.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so this one could be interesting too. Yeah, I would like to see what OP Cubby brings to the div since we didn't get a chance to see them in the first week.
Yeah.
So yeah, very very curious about this too. But I think it's an uphill for the Skaven. I think the Chaos can, I don't know, maybe take out their frustration on this this Skaven team a little easier.
Yeah.
So yeah, that brings us to Tainted Brewers versus Flyboys. This one's scheduled for tomorrow at 8:45. This one could be interesting. I don't know if I can promise streaming it, but I might.
Maybe.
Yeah, and just to be clear, we've been taking these scheduled times from REBBL.net. If you're familiar with how that system works, there's an option if you're looking at your match to put in a scheduled time for it, and that'll show to anybody that's looking at the division. It'll give like a little symbol that'll kind of show that time, and so that's where we're taking that from. So feel free to add those in there. That'll certainly up the our ability to kind of like go out and stream matches if we know about them in advance.
Yeah, and I my hope is that when we stream them, if you're interested in getting some commentary on some ideas about how you play, we try not to be too critical, but definitely part of streaming is to be like, oh, here's something that they could have done. Mm-hmm. And I certainly found that whenever someone's streaming one of my matches and I go watch it, I notice things like, okay, that's good to know that was an option, because even I wouldn't have done it, I didn't even consider it.
Yeah. So I don't know if folks that saw our cast from this week have any comments for us on those, but it was fun to kind of catch the matches, especially as like the early div excitement was fresh. But yeah, hopefully we can keep that going through the season.
Yeah, but this match in particular, this is two of the titans of the division.
Yeah,
both got a win. both well-developed teams, and it should be really exciting.
Yeah, yeah, no real inducements though. Yeah, I guess Pimp Pimp has some money to spend.
Yeah,
Um, which I don't know what they spend it on. Good luck.
yeah,
He's already got a stadium.
he's already got 13 players. He's got a state. He's got enough rerolls. You maybe just throw it away.
Yeah, put it. Get that stadium up to level 3 or whatever, and
Yeah,
yeah.
but because again the 1700 TB I'm listing there for him, that assumes that he gets rid of that money.
Just dumps it
If
in.
he keeps it, instead it would be 50 going to Kleptonite. And in a match that I assume is going to be pretty bashy, I don't think you want to give the humans a Bloodweiser babe.
Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah, Pimp Pimp's in the chat. He's saying that the match is now at 9:30 EDT.
Okay.
And that yes, he's throwing the money in the trash again. He says that his stadium already has like 500K in it.
Yeah, nice.
Just like, geez, I want to talk to the minors division that you're in and see like why was there no damage going to like why did you not have to buy any replacements? But yeah, yeah, this should be a good match. I think we've got one of our hybrids that have a bunch of agility, and also just a lot of development because of the
Yeah.
many seasons that they've been around.
Four guard on the humans means they can't bash quite as well as Chaos. They're not going to be pushovers.
Yeah. It's gonna be like that guard's gonna be good for countering the guard coming at you because, yeah, as we saw, and as is the Chorf way, they're gonna want to mark up stuff and get their hits in. And yeah, I think it'll be interesting. I don't see a clear cut winner. I want to back Tainted Brewers because I picked them to win the division, but like I could see Flyboys pulling this out if they can be pretty tactical with their blitzes and kind of picking at the Chorfs. I don't know.
Yeah, it's going to come down to, I think, how does the Chaos that if the humans can stay alive, I think they can probably stop the touchdown by the Chorfs and get the touchdown of their own drive. They could probably like pull off a 1-0 win, or force a quick touchdown. Centaur or Hobgoblin just running, right? In which case they might be able to respond. But on the other hand, if there's a lot of armor breaks, the Chorfs could just shut them down.
Yeah.
That if there's just if you get them down to too few pieces, then they just get enveloped.
Right. Yeah, I think probably whoever wins the coin toss is going to be picking offense. And Flyboys do have a couple Mighty Blow blitzers that could potentially do some damage.
Really like targeted damage on Hobgoblin.
Yeah, though they
that
do.
If you can get rid of the ability to move the ball.
Right. Though they do have a Tainted Brewers does have a pretty solid bench.
Yeah.
So it might be a little tough getting through all that.
And Flyboys has no bench.
Yeah.
So yeah, again, they're going to need to be careful. Get into too much of a scrum, right? Because then they start losing pieces.
Yep.
And then they lose the game.
Yeah. So yeah, they're gonna have to emulate elves in this one, and that's
classic human play, right? You pick
right.
you pick the opposite of what you're playing against, and you try to punch it on that. And fortunately for him, he's got 3 AG4 pieces, right?
Yep.
He's better at pretending to be an elf than a lot of human teams.
Yeah. And I think
and of course Eddie Rickenbacker, that beautiful thrower.
Yep. Yeah, and he already has one bash match under his belt this season, and did pretty well at kind of picking his fights a little bit. Got the Khemri to kind of get gummed up and got the ball free and did it.
So I do think these Chorfs are more fierce than that Khemri team. So he definitely knows how to play that. He's going to have to play it really well.
Yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, I think this right. The development on the Chaos Dwarves is spread out a bit more evenly.
Yeah,
Cool. All right, yeah, looking forward to this one tomorrow night.
yeah, tomorrow 9:30, not 8:45, but
Yeah,
tomorrow.
yeah. All right. Is this the last one or no?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, last match, and yeah, I don't know. This should be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I get a bunch of inducements out of this. This is wild. It was way
Yeah.
different than my last season
Yeah.
already. So last season, as you know from covering the div, I was always giving up a wizard to agility teams, and
Yeah.
now it's coming onto the other foot.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah. So, yeah, this should be an interesting match, right? We got again a match last week. Both scored 2 touchdowns, and you were actually able to stop your opponent from scoring it all.
mm-hmm.
So you're coming at this at the slightly better ranking.
Mm-hmm.
Facing a lot of stat ups, right? Like you've got 2
Yeah.
facing 4 of them, and 2 move ups and a strength increase.
Oh my gosh.
And one of your tackle pieces is gone. Fortunately, though, you have 3. I believe Dragons last game,
Yep.
and so got another tackle piece for this match.
Yep.
Which I think makes a lot of sense.
Yes. Yeah, definitely regretting a certain someone's strip ball choice, which is mine, choosing strip ball and chicken of the V, at least for this matchup. Really
true, and unlike some Wood Elf teams, this team has sure hands on that walnut.
Yep. So yeah, I think this is going to be really tough, even with inducements. I'm gonna have to be super careful, and even so, might not be able to stop the wave of agility 5 coming at me.
Yeah, right. 3 lead pieces, 2 of them AG5, then AG5 Rackler, not Rackler, but Wrestle Dodge piece. Just a lot of really good. You keep an eye on Michael Jackson. We discussed being careful of pass block. I'll say that to you directly. So just if you get taken in by that, I'm gonna be.
You cut out at the end, but I.
Oh, I'm sorry. If you get taken in by that by pass, I'll be really disappointed.
Yeah. I probably will. We'll see. We'll see.
It does show me though that Jotunheim Jambalaya is a very good for this match, right? He's got Mighty Blow and Piling On. It's fine you don't have Claw because you're going up against AB7.
Yep.
And he's they're move 7 or move 6?
They're move 6.
Okay, they're move 6, but he's at least move 6 and he's jump up, right? So you can pile, keep him in motion.
Yep.
So he's very nice here.
Yeah.
Other than that, though, just David Leclerc just has such a nice team.
Yep.
It's going to be tough.
Yeah, not having the other tackle Berserker is a big letdown. Yeah, that was a. I'm
not sure the inducements are worth that. Because that's a chunk of.
Yeah. That's why we're at this juncture with 210 and 1760. Yeah, exactly. No, I'd rather have him than what I'm going to induce, which I believe David is very curious as to what that's going to be.
So in terms of what I think you should, I actually have 3 theories on what you should induce. And so I'm just going to say all 3 of them. And you don't have to tell us what it is. I think it's only fair that you get to keep that private to the match.
Yeah.
But the 3 things that jump out at me is I notice you have a Nuffle Altar, which is a lot of fun. So I would not be surprised to see that come into play. That would look like, say, getting Boomer, who's normally 60k, but drops down to 10. And then maybe just doing a couple bribes. And just put party to good use. Foul on AG4. Even if you don't win the match, you'll be the hero. If you
right.
the division will love you.
Champion
And,
of the
and
people.
and then the other, I wouldn't look at an opponent. You're not gonna take that much damage, probably. At least if you do, like you're already losing the match.
Yeah, yeah.
The other things I'd look at is like there's some more expensive players, right? You could do
Right.
Wilhelm Chain,
Yep.
who's 240 down to 190.
Mm-hmm.
That leaves you only 20,
Right.
but that's okay. You see, that's just a waste because you're not going to spend any money.
Mm-hmm.
And or Zara the Slayer's 270 down to 2, so that would be spending 10k.
Yeah.
I don't know if I do that
Yeah.
because I think you want the money too bad, and she's not that
Right.
amazing. I mean,
Right.
Stab is kind of cool against 87, right? That's a good team to use it against, but
Yeah. But
yeah, I would do Boomer in the bribes, or I do Wilhelm Chain.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I'd probably do that. I'd probably do the bribes and Boomer.
Yeah.
And having covered you extensively last season, see Boomer on the field. Actually, you could do Boomer and Wilhelm.
You can. Yeah.
I wouldn't hate that either.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Because he's a very nice piece, right? He's fast, strength 4,
has
wrestle, catch, frenzy, good piece. Yeah, I'd expect to see him or a couple big bribes.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the promise that I can make is we're for sure going to see Boomer. What Boomer will do in the pitch, we'll see about that. But yeah, 10k for a block piece. That's also AV9. Yeah. 100% we're going to see Boomer. What else? Yeah. Well, there's also, I think, a fourth option that you didn't mention, which is Wizard and a Babe.
There was a reason I didn't mention that.
Oh, yeah? You don't approve?
I don't approve, no. Not against this much, not against like a team the entire length of the field.
Yeah.
Quite so fast.
Yeah.
I don't hate, I mean, you are as, I mean, I don't hate anybody's choices, but I'm not as suspicious of it as say like the Camry team having taken it, right? Because you're certainly much faster than that. I just think you have better uses for the money.
Yeah, it's tough, right? Because like against such fast team, you'd almost have to have a scoring threat already set up, and then everything would have to work for the Wizard to like get the ball free and then be able to pick it up, chuck it to that receiver, and then either score or stand at the other end zone.
Yeah. Whereas my argument for like say David's weakness almost is that he has everything that hits the ground is a quality piece. Some of them are just more amazing than others.
Right. Yeah.
On the other hand, Wilhelm's great too.
Yeah. So I think I have a few options. David asking in chat whether pass block works against bombs, which I don't see why it wouldn't. And yes, we're gonna see that. And
Jesus, does it?
I'm probably gonna regret ever bombing with Boomer.
No, it does not work against bombs.
Oh, cool. Huh.
Opposing coach announces that one of his players, but not a bomb, is explicitly in the rules.
Oh.
So only if Blubble 2 has a bug.
Find out.
And what are the
find
odds
out
of
Friday. That? Yeah, exactly. Friday. Yeah, so this.
So are you going to be streaming that?
I will not be.
Okay.
I'm
I
trying
might go ahead
not
and
to
stream
it. Okay. Yeah, I think you should.
I assume you would not object.
No, absolutely not. Yeah, I think you should. I'm planning not to stream my own matches this season.
That makes sense. I tried that a couple times last season, and I hated it.
Yeah, I did all last season and felt myself like very frustrated through like the last 4 matches of the season. I felt so frustrated with both my play and just like, just felt like a sense of dread about it. So yeah, just trying to like reset and not have the streaming distraction as part of it.
Yeah, but and not to ignore. He's got a lot of good ways to get at you. It's gonna be really hard to hide the ball from him.
Yeah.
And we've seen he plays very aggressively.
Yep.
So I would not be surprised to see him like coming at you on your half of and just really trying to get in there, get the ball and score.
Yeah. Which, if you remember anything about me and Els last season, I didn't do so hot against that.
And this is probably a better elf team.
Yes, much better elf team. I mean, Legendary Wordsmith had a lot of stat ups, but
not stat ups with then this much development.
Yeah, exactly. exactly. It was still, yeah, a very young team, and yeah, woof. So yeah, all right. Well, I think that covers our recap for this week.
One note I want to throw in there, that this is something that Dave brought up in the chat. That Raven Poe, part with the it's the if you're interested in his writings, you would search for "Let's Talk About" as a Reddit thread. So it'd be like for Nurgle, "Let's Talk About" on Reddit would be
Mm-hmm.
the name of the thread, and that's where he would lay out like a multi-page article. Just here's how the team should be played generally. Sorry, I look at those for any team I play that I haven't played before, and I would suggest anyone who is like interested in a different perspective on. Looks like they're really worth your time.
Yeah, I liked like he definitely had like wears his perspective on the game on his sleeve, but I think that
Yeah,
like works really well versus before I was using I think Blood Bowl tactics quite a bit for team build help
yeah,
for new teams, which is good, but is fairly it tries to be pretty all encompassing, and this I think what Ravenbow does just kind of adds a lot more color and life to potential options that you can choose. I think for like his elf ones that he did, he would bring in other people to help write stuff because he didn't really have too much, or like wasn't too interested in elf coaches, at least when he wrote the
right.
guides a couple years ago. But yeah,
Yeah,
they're good
yeah,
resources.
yeah, I agree with BB Tactics is nice for here's 6 different builds for nerds. Look at them and and here's what each one does. Think about how to do it. Whereas Raven Poe just has a perspective of like this is how the team should be played. Here's the level ups, and here's how the team should be played. And you can
Mm-hmm.
disagree with those, and so tweak things.
Right,
But
right.
it's like it's a unified approach to here's how to play this team, and here's how to build the team or develop the team in order to make that happen.
Yep, 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 yep.
But yeah, thanks to everyone who tuned in. I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so this came together kind of last minute because we had a schedule change, but I think next week we'll probably be doing this on Thursday evening, and we'll
Yeah.
kind of keep you all posted on what time that will be. But obviously, this the VOD of this is going to be up. I'll be posting it to Reddit and Discord probably later tonight or tomorrow.
Mhm.
And yeah, good luck in everyone's matches, and
Yep.
we'll catch you all later.
Mhm.